The grand oak doors of Daniel Harrington's mansion swung open, and the familiar silence of wealth greeted him. A self-made millionaire, Daniel had grown accustomed to the quiet halls, the polished marble, the sweeping staircase that reflected his success. But today, something pierced through that silence. A muffled sound. A sob. He froze. Rushing toward the living room, Daniel found his wife, Emily, curled on the couch, her hands cradling her pregnant belly, tears streaming down her face. His heart stopped. Emily was his anchor, his constant through the chaos of boardrooms and business deals. To see her broken was unbearable. "Emily, what's wrong?" Daniel knelt beside her, brushing the hair from her face. She shook her head, unable to form words, only pressing a crumpled envelope into his hand. His mind spun as he opened it. Inside was not a threat or bad medical news, as his racing heart feared. Instead, it was a handwritten letter. Daniel began to read. The letter was from their housemaid, Rosa. She had worked for them for nearly 7 years, always quiet, always respectful. But in the letter, she confessed something she had never dared to say aloud. Her teenage son had been diagnosed with a rare illness, and the treatments were impossibly expensive. She had tried to manage alone, but the bills had consumed her. Rosa hadn't asked for money. She had simply written to say she would resign because her worry and exhaustion were affecting her work. Emily sobbed harder. "She didn't even ask us for help, Daniel." She was suffering in silence. Daniel sat back, the weight of the letter pressing into him. Here he was, a man who had built an empire, who owned properties around the world, yet under his own roof lived a woman too afraid to reach out. He thought of the bonuses he'd given to executives, who already had more than enough, of the gala dinners he attended, where a single bottle of wine cost more than Rosa earned in a month. His chest tightened with shame. The next morning, Daniel didn't send an assistant or a manager. He went himself, finding Rosa in the small apartment she shared with her son on the outskirts of town. The boy lay in bed, pale and fragile, his eyes lighting up only when he saw his mother. Rosa's face flushed with embarrassment when Daniel stepped inside. "Mr. Harrington, I'm so sorry. I should have given notice properly. Her voice cracked, and she looked away. Daniel placed the letter on the table. "Rosa, you've cared for our home like it was your own. You've been part of our family. And yet, I didn't see what you were going through. That ends today." Rosa shook her head quickly. "Please, sir, I can't accept charity. I only wanted to explain." But Daniel interrupted, his voice steady. "This isn't charity. This is family taking care of each other." For a moment, the room was quiet except for the soft hum of the boy's breathing machine. Then Daniel continued, "From this day, your son's medical bills are covered. Whatever it takes. And Rosa, you're not losing your job. You're gaining more time to be with him. We'll bring in extra help at the house. You deserve it." Rosa's hands flew to her mouth as tears spilled over. Emily, who had followed Daniel in, walked forward and wrapped her arms around the woman. "You're not alone anymore," she whispered. In that small apartment, stripped of all the luxury Daniel was used to, something shifted inside him. It wasn't about money, power, or prestige. It was about humanity. Weeks later, when Rosa's son began responding well to treatment, the house was filled with a new kind of laughter. Emily glowed brighter in her pregnancy. Rosa smiled with a lightness Daniel had never seen before, and Daniel himself felt a peace he had never found in his wealth. And it all began with a letter, a cry, and a choice to see beyond himself.